Hey there everyone, Palar here, and welcome back to Star Citizen. It's time for part 2 of the tutorial series. This is going to be getting into Crusader, primarily Port Olisar, and just figuring out your way around, finding your ship, getting into the ship, the different missions that are available, and things along those lines. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So we're going to be going Universe, and then we are going to be going Crusader. We've gone over everything else, our Corp, the Arena Commander and stuff. Crusader is the actual spaceport in the small little part of what is going to be the PU when it eventually does go live. For now, you basically reset each time you go in. No friends are in, so there's just the one, and we are going to launch. Again, the reason I started this part here is the loading time can sometimes take a very long time. I'm looking at about a minute on an SSD. Your times will vary depending on what you're loading off of, but don't rush it. It will eventually load in, and now we'll cut to when we're in. Okay, so if you're playing along or you have been playing, you've got to through this animation. One of the things that goes on within Star Citizen is whenever you log into the game, at least right now because it's not persistent yet, it's not a persistent universe, you spawn in some sort of bed. You're going to be spawning most of the time at Port Olisar, which is this one here, which is all green. I'm going to say most of the time because there is currently a karma system, a bounty system within the game where you can do things to basically get bad bounty, in which case when you come in, you will be spawning at Grim Hex, which is kind of the pirate base and everything. I will cover that in a different video sometime down the line, but if you ever spawn in and rather than green, you're in something that's more red and rusted and a little more beat up than this, a little more dirty, let's say, that is Grim Hex. A lot of the same features, it's just a very different base to spawn in, but we will cover that at a different time. We could get back into the bed if we wanted to. This is like our little private room. We do have a little locker here, so if we press F4 here, you can see I'm in my flight suit. If I interact on the door, I go back to my primary clothes, and then interact again. I can get my flight suit back on. I have my shotgun and everything. We'll go ahead and go back into the main mode. Come on out. Now, something that you can go back in there, there's not really much of a reason to do it, but if you keep track of which one is yours, you can go back into your pod right there. But if I try to activate on somebody else's, nope, can't get into them. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to move on downstairs. You're always going to spawn on what is basically the third floor, and this is all symmetrical. So I could go that way and get downstairs. I can go this way and get downstairs, and you can go that way. You could end up spawning on this side also, I believe. So you can see here, it's again very symmetrical, and move on down. But there's a stairwell on either side. We're going to go down. Basically, everything we have throughout Port Olisar, you can hear me say symmetrical a lot. And we're going to go down to deck 1. So on this lower pad, we're going to take our right here, and if we came down the other side, we'd be taking a left. And the central room right here, this is where we're going to be coming to request our ship or ships, depending on what it is we want to fly. But we're going to do that in a moment. First, let's have a look around here. What we actually want to look for, and this is going to be especially relevant if you're trying to meet up with a friend. So in the previous video, I talked about how in order to get to the friends, it's best to invite before you join in and jump in on them. But say that didn't happen. Well, once you're in here, what you can do is you can hit F11. It's going to actually bring up your friends list. Now, adding a friend within this menu is a little more complicated than it should be. In order to actually get our cursor to do this, we want to hold down right alt and hit / or question mark, which is right above the right alt. And once I hit that, then I have my mouse cursor. I can go ahead and come over here, click, and now you can see I can type again to add a friend in. So if there was a friend here, we could right click on them and add them to the party. They would get a friend request in which they would have to hit left bracket to join. That is actually in there. In order to get back out of this, we do right alt again plus / Now the mouse is back away. Go ahead, hit F11 to close. And I'm actually going to hit F12 also to close the chat menu down there, just to clear up a little more screen space. Anyway, once you spawn into Olisar, Olisar is actually 4 symmetrical platforms that all look exactly the same. So we are actually on A, and I know we're on A because right here on this sign where it says landing pad 9, you'll see there it says strut. That's an A above it. I don't know why they left out the cross where it looks kind of like a TP strut or just a symbol strut. We are on A strut of Port Olisar. So straight across from us there, that one should be, if I'm not mistaken, D. That one is C, and that over there to our left, or what is now in front of us, but to the left of this, would be B. So it basically goes clockwise. We're on A, B, C, D. And what it would actually happen when we go outside, you'll see this direction here is the planet. The planet Crusader is over there. So that's the basic layout of the starport. Now, all 4 pads are the exact same. All 4 struts are the same. The only difference is the symbol here on the sign will say a different strut. Instead of A, it'll say B, C, or D. Okay? Now, before we leave, one other thing we want to do, and this is not something you have to do every single time, but something I do recommend if you know you're going to be maybe getting into infantry-based combat. There are several shops around the base level of this area. So right here is the dumper depot. This one is not installed yet. We can't actually get into there. That would be ship repair, salvage, buying ship items and stuff. Over here is a small version of the Kasaba, which is in area 18, ArcCorp 18, whatever it is. They do have some of the stuff that the other one has, just not quite as much of it. I really don't care about these items. Let's come back out, and we actually want to go this way. When we get around the corner here, there should be over here, somewhere around here, if I get to the right one, there is another store. Here is the one we're looking for. Over here is the defense one, yes. So in here, if we wanted to, we could go ahead and, since I already have this armor, I could equip the armor, even though I bought it in the other one. There's my flight suit. You can pick up the body armor and all that stuff is what we're getting to. Now, you will notice that some of the pirate armor does not show up here. In Grim Hex, the pirate base, you can go there and pick up the pirate armor if you want. They do have that, and I thought he had weapons. No, weapons are on the other side. Right there is the planet. I was talking about how there was the backside, so there's the planet. B would be over there, C would be back there, D would be back there. Over here is the one we are actually looking for. Live fire weapons. Not because we need a gun. If we hit F4, you can see we actually have a gun. So that's not why we're here. But what we want is this right here. Med pens. You just want to make sure when you come in here it says equipped. See, what this is if you do get shot, you can press H to heal yourself. It is a med pen. Now, once you use them, you got to come back and get another one. Sometimes they resupply, sometimes they don't. It gets a little buggy from time to time, so keep that in mind. So that is what is around. Basically, you have a store on each one of the 4 corners. You're on the lower platform all around, okay? Let's go ahead and we will move back into the middle, come down to the terminal, and we are now going to select our ship. Going to go ahead and hit F. Now, depending on what you have access to in the game, here's going to be the ships that can be summoned for you. We have, for me, I have the F7C, F7CM. Well, you can read what they are. They're the different flyable ships currently in game. Let's go ahead and, you know what, since right now everyone's got access to it, we will take out the Anvil Hornet. So we'll click on it, click Request Ship, and we are going to landing pad A02. Now that pad can vary. Automatically right there we will see Anvil Hornet, the blue highlight, and you can see it'll actually tell us the closest way out the door in order to get over to it. So we want to come this way, hang a left, and cycle through the airlock. So we press F to interact on this. There is another locker here that you can take your gear on and off. So if we give it a sec, there you can see I'm out of it. If you happen to take your gear off upstairs, you don't have to run back upstairs to get it. So you can take your gear off and back on here. Hit F4 to come back in. Let's go ahead and cycle on the airlock door again. And then we'll go through and cycle the inner door. Or cycle for the outer door from the inner. Anyway. Come on through. All right. 02's up. Hang a left. And it's all right around here. We come on up here to 2. And what it basically happens is there are different size paths, similar to the hangars that they come in different sizes. You have up here are larger or small ships. Down there would be where a Starfare or something would spawn. That's where the big Class 5, Class 6 ships spawn. Over here on the side, on this side, is where Class, well, these are also Class 1s. Sorry, let's go get to the right one. Class 1's over there, and then over on this side would be where Class 3s and 4s can spawn. So basically what can happen is you can spawn around 8 Class size 1, 2s, and 3s, 1 Class 5 or 6 ship, and 2 Class 3 or 4 or Class 4 or 5 ships over here. So you can see this pad's bigger, that pad's bigger there. So 2 medium-sized, 1 big ship, and about 8. So 2, 2, and then 4 over there. So 8 of those. Okay? And all of this is, we are in open space right now. So if we wanted to, what we can do is we can just jump off this edge here, and we will be basically the equivalent of, well, not basically, we are EVAing now. So if I hold down space, I can climb up. Space is elevation when you're EVA'd. Control is slowing you, or will go down. X works as like a brake. So I'm holding spacebar right now. If I hold in X, I'll stop climbing. You can see there, as soon as I let go of X, I start climbing again. And what I'm going to do is, right there, you can actually see where it says A strut. So when you're coming in from space, say you don't have the orientation down where close left to planet is A, well, you can actually come in a little bit high and you can see the different struts. So right there, you can see that says D. Can I zoom in? Can I zoom in on it? No, can't zoom in on that. But that one right there is D. And if we get high enough, right on the other side of this center pillar, really would have been a lot faster if I took a shift. Shift does help a little bit. So let's hit shift, get going a little bit faster. Get up here. And right there you can see B. So we have A, B, over there is C, and right there is D. That is the setup of Port Olisar. The central axis and these wheel hubs, there's nothing in them you can actually do. So we're now going to start going down. I'm going to face, hold forward, so holding W and shift to really get some speed up. This will help me decelerate a little bit more. While you're in this type of mode, Q and E is your roll. So I'm going to hit X now to use the brake to stop. And you can see here, I'm not doing anything with the mouse. What I'm doing right now is I'm just holding E, and that's our roll. Q is our roll the other direction. Okay, and we can come on in here a little slower, because if you hit the ground too hard, you will fall. Actually, we'll go ahead and demonstrate it. If we get over the pad here, there's a point where when you come down at a certain Z level, you just fall like the last 10 feet right there. And you can see I took a little bit of damage. Got like a damage indicator going on, and if I hit H, will I heal? Yep, there we go. I healed myself. So the health bar thing you saw there, 0, 0, didn't really update. That actually is your ammo counter, but that would normally show you like you took damage or whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and let's get out of here. So we're going to walk up, interact with F, and we're going to climb in.
Landing request approved. Landing complete.
So I'm not going to go over flight mechanics right now. There's just too much. That's going to be its own separate video, so I'm not going to describe all the key buttons I'm pressing, but we are going to talk a little bit about what can be done. So without doing anything going on right now, what we have are several options of gameplay element. First, you could just be dynamic, go out, hunt for anybody, just try to kill people out doing their mission. You can do some other things, but what we actually want to do is we want to hit F1. And hitting F1 is going to bring up this little, like, this is your multi-tool or whatever. For the most part, none of this stuff is actually working. So the journal, I think, works, but you come in, there's nothing really in the... Oh, yeah, there are journal entries. Okay. Down here, the bottom center, you see this kind of double helix symbol. That's the back. So click that, it'll go back. But mainly what we can go into is a lot of these other ones aren't working. Yeah, so you can see there, not working, nothing. But this big one actually does work. Click on there, and we're going to see available missions that we could do. There's primary missions of repairing arrays, there's ICC assistance, and then security guard post and PI wanted. So what is going on within the game right now, and you'll actually every so often you'll see green text pop up. If I hit F1, it'll pop up right around, hold on, let me get my mouse back, so right Alt-Z, right around up here, you'll see green text updates saying missions have changed, missions are back, or whatever. And what's going on is there are pirates out there, and they're flying out to these different communication arrays and shutting them down. So one mission we have is we can fly around to the different communication arrays. When we go there, the 2 pirates will show up, we kill the pirates, then we can EVA out and turn the array back on, and that's what we'll do. ICC is a chain of, I believe, about 6 different quests that you can do that are great for earning money. So you actually see here, down at the bottom, reward 2,500 UEC. These guys reward 1,000 UEC. The security guard post, 2,500 UEC, and you can read through the text. The PI wanted at 1,000 UEC. The PI wanted one, I do recommend for new players. Go ahead and give this one a try. I'm not going to do a walkthrough of it. It's voice acted, it guides you itself. Give it a try, see what you think of it. I think it's pretty good. ICC assistance. If you want to get the armor like I was wearing in the previous video, the different guns, this is the one that you do in order to get that money. Because you can knock out each leg of this mission in about 5 to 8 minutes and you get 2,500. real quick. It does really well. For the most part, I'm not going to walk through that one either. These are relatively self-explanatory. You're going to fly to a beacon. The lady's going to talk to you and say, hey, I see a distress beacon, or I'm getting an SOS. You fly out there. Generally, some pirates are going to spawn. You shoot them down. You get out of your ship. You interact with something floating around in the area. Get back in, and you get your credits and go. And we don't need to walk through that, but we'll go ahead. We will pick this top test array. Going to go ahead, and we could do this just to go back, but we don't really need to go back, so we can go back in there, hit F1 to close, close out, close, there we go. And it automatically puts a link. So I hit Z right there to uncouple my view, but you can see the restore uplink actually is directly in front of us, so that's convenient. Let's go ahead and get going. Alright, we're now up in the air, and we're going to get moving. Retract the landing gear, and again, I'll explain all of that in the next video where we go into the controls in depth. For now, let's just get the mission over with so you can see what all's going on with it. I am playing this with keyboard and mouse, so be warned, I play HOTAS primarily. I am not up to speed with keyboard and mouse, and I might not be very good at it. Alright, let's see. Closest bogey, target it up. Let's get him down. I'm actually just going to go ahead and use missiles. Oh, we got incoming missiles. I'm going to go ahead and deploy. Okay, easy enough. The Super Hornet is a pretty powerful ship. Hopefully the game volume cuts down here soon so I can hear myself think. And once they are destroyed, we can go ahead and we can come on up here and now get out of our ship. We're going to hold F for a few sec. And we're going to hopefully not die right here because I think someone else just jumped into the system. So, yeah, there's some bogeys out there. What happens there is basically for each person in the sector, 2 pirates spawn. So we killed R2 and then somebody else jumped in and caused 2 more to spawn as I was leaving. So we might come back to a destroyed ship. Oh well, we will handle that when we get there if we have to. T to turn on my flashlight, and I'm just EVAing my way through. Sure sounds like they just destroyed my ship. Come on down here, and you'll see the restore uplink right here. Be warned though, so this is one way that it's easy to screw up and end up getting a bounty when you don't mean to. If someone else was in here, like say this other pilot out there came flying in here and got here before me, and they came in here and activated on it, well, the mission goes away for everyone. So you can come back in here, activate on it, and you end up turning it back off, and you've basically just become a pirate by doing it. Only one person can deactivate or reactivate, or only one person can reactivate a beacon at a time. Go ahead and turn the headlamp off. Come on back outside. And okay, they didn't blow up our ship. Yay! Go ahead and give it a little bit of boost with the shift. Get over here and get back into our Hornet. Let's go this way. You will take damage if you fly into it too hard. So like if you come flying into it real fast and here comes a ship. You go ahead and get in and get out of here. Yep, there he is. Almost flew into me.
Scanning. Shields charging. Warning. Systems overheating.
And we did definitely get hit. You can see right there, the upper left-hand corner, where our ship is, our center hull is yellow. We didn't take too much damage. We're okay, apparently. But Yeah, we did definitely get hit. So there you go. That's a pretty good idea of what you can do. Now, that's the most simplistic of the missions. The other ones are a little more involved. If you have good enough rep, you get the security guard post, which is actually going to have you hunting pirates. If somebody has done a whole lot of negative karma type effects and they have a very high wanted level, you can get missions to hunt them. The security guard post, oh, right there one. Public enemy just popped up. So someone with a very high negative rep is in the game, so they want us to go chase after them and cut them down. The PI 101 tells a really generic story, but it does show a little bit of the quality they were going for in terms of what they're trying to do with the game. I highly recommend checking that one out. And if you want money, the ICC assistant ones are just great. One word of warning about those missions, though. While they're all easy, I would say most of them have you get out of your ship at some point to find like a distress beacon activated. The beacon can be a little finicky to click on. You're going to get the F to interact with it option, and it can be tough to get yourself aligned to where you're interacting with it correctly. So get out of your ship, get over to the beacon, and circle it back and forth, get real close to it. Eventually, you'll get the F icon to pop up, or the interact icon to pop up. You can press F to finish it. Other than that, they work just fine. They just can be a little odd to get those F commands, the interact commands, to pop up. And with that, I think that about covers it. That's your basics of what you can do in the player universe. Next time, we will get in much more in depth with the basic keyboard and mouse, flight controls, understanding how to play the game, takeoff, landing, all of that. But that'll be another video. So until next time, this has been Paler. Thanks for watching.